Okay, resume.
Well, when both guys went up for the ball, I just thought, who's going to come down with it?
Watch it.
Come down with it and then take it all the way for a touchdown.
Man, watch it up.
Because normally,
Get off me, Nick.
both guys
Get out.
go up for it and come down with it. The tie goes to the offense. The
defensive
player didn't want it to be a tie
Come
at
back.
all. He wanted a little bit more, took it, and went the other direction.
What's happening to the migrants and the people in this country legally, authorized and allowed to come here legally, seeking asylum, seeking refugee status, on work permits and work visas. We have green cards that are being detained by ICE and shipped to a foreign nation that is not the nation or country of their origin. Why this matters to you and to everybody in the black community. They are testing and pushing the rule of law to see what they are able to get away with and what level of resistance will be given by the people. And as sure as my name is Zachary and I am black as black can be, they're going to do the exact same thing to our black asses too as soon as they can. That's the entire point of all of this. They started with one marginalized group, and it's going to spread from group to group to group to group. And we can't sit back and we can't be complacent and say to ourselves, well, it's not going to happen to me, because our day is coming and it's coming.
Elliott on for the extra point.
And we heard that echo, and
it's good, and it's 21-10. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
Muscles him off, and he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Working from the gun, it's Brady. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 4 of 7. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll try and run for it. Here's Michel. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to make it 4th down.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
Here's Ryan Allen now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 18. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. And let's shift now to talking about the Patriots defense. And despite being down on the scoreboard, this unit, they've had some big-time hits.
Sort of like us at practice the other day. I saw you take a running start at that blocking sled. You took it down.
Bounced off like a rubber band.
No, not at all, but you're exactly right. They are doing their job, but they want to add takeaways to it. You need to have more of those to go along with the big hits we're seeing.
By the way, when I tried that and I bounced back, I noticed that you laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just
use the same stuff, and they're purposely doing it. We know for a fact that TikTok changed their algorithm to appease Donald Trump. We see what Elon Musk is doing. When you talk about, I saw
a joke on the other
Yeah,
side.
right,
I missed
right.
that. Totally missed it.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Bro, right here. Right here.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. And that'll set them back for time.
Good. Back.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
Right back in.
They run with Howard. He'll get 3 of those penalty yards back here, leaving him with a 2nd and 12.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now.
Step up in the pocket. Step up in the pocket.
On 2nd and 12, Wentz. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. Dante Hightower coming in for the sack from his linebacker spot.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now Wentz. That's caught by Howard. And they'll get him down here at the 23.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Julian Edelman gets ready to take the field again here on offense. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. This drive starts out on the ground with Michel. And, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Brady, they'll try and set up the screen. It's complete.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
On 3rd down, a run from White. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing. and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. You might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Here's Ryan Allen now as he's on to punt for New England. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Well, not only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the one interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. Anytime they'll throw 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown. But those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. On the handoff, this is Howard. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. And down he goes. Dietrich Wise Jr. able to drop him for a loss of a couple. Eagles on 3rd down. I've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. And Jeffrey's got it. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 26. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football.
And go back to the replay.
So right there.
Go back to the replay. I lost like 4 yards and then gained what?
I don't know how you can run against that because if you just choose not to be.
So that's 10,
I mean, 15, I don't know how you can do that.
20,
but then you got the other woman,
25. I lost 4, so I made 21 yards.
Who don't try to do something to fix the situation. I'm sorry. Those 2 were in North Carolina.
Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. They do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
Writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Wentz. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
Could not block that one any better. Everyone was accounted for, and a great surge by the offensive line.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And the lead is up to 18 now. So that drives 7 plays in length. And finishing it off with a touchdown run was Jordan Howard. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. To throw, it's Brady. He gets it to James White. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. Brady going to try and throw on 3rd down. He hits White, complete. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Now Brady looking middle, and it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw is Brady. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Ryan Allen now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. This will be a 41-yard punt, 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
You can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Let's get off the field.
Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. Going up top.
Oh!
He bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was looking for Jordan Howard that time. 3rd down here.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. He's going to look deep down the field. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. 51 yards on the punt there. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. 9 seconds to play, likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. Brady now to throw. Complete to Watson, the tight end. Give him a couple on the catch at 2nd and 8. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one is maybe not exactly in the bag yet, but there is definitely a big mountain to climb in this third quarter. The teams are already back out there, so let's not waste any time, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Gaudin.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing I very strongly. But this is my point, though. The problem is, every time Trump says some crazy shit, people are
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets them into a 3rd-and-1 situation.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll try to run for it with Howard. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Got what he needed for the first down with a gain of 2.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. The safety, Patrick Chung, got a hand in, knocked it away.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock the Albert away and bring up 2nd down.
Second and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here's Wentz to throw. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
On first down, Wentz. That's complete to Jeffrey. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. A give to Howard. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle 1st down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense is a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
I gotta watch that again. I gotta see that again, brother. I gotta see that again. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at this. Oh, he's supposed to have him right here. Pop! That's what we tackled. Oh! Stopped him. Stepped him. 2-stepped him. Oh! He's supposed to have me on the 46. Instead, I got to what?
So, and then they'll get mad when a Roland Martin
the 33.
They get mad.
I got an additional 13 yards from that juke.
Liberal reporter wants to tell the truth. That's more a violation at CNN than spreading misinformation. So CNN has played a role in eroding our democracy. They just don't do it as blatantly as Fox News or Newsmax.
Senator Raphael Warnock stood with other senators challenging first 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency. And he, of course, had a few words to say. Here he is right now.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Delay of game, offense.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Now Wentz, flush to his right. Now he'll pull it down, and he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn.
Rated PG-13 in select theaters in New York and Los Angeles, May 30th. In theaters everywhere, June 6th.
Consumer Reports used road tests, owner surveys, and safety ratings to name Subaru their 2025 most reliable and best overall automotive brand. And the Crosstrek, a top pick. Safe, reliable, trusted.
A positive gain.
Subaru.
And by WeFilter, it's well designed, efficient. I appreciate that. WeFilter's technology. Here we go.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Wentz. It's caught by Jackson. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Wentz. Steps away to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Deatrich Wise picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. so it's an empty possession there, and you'd have to say it's not like him to come up. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Now Brady. And that's complete. It's Watson.
That's bullshit.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
I had that bitch double covered.
18 big yards on that one, and a New England first down.
I had that
so
bitch
many
double
things
covered.
to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys. You always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. On first down, Brady. Looking for Edelman, and he hits him. It's complete. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Again, they'll throw with Brady. He's got Lacoste, his tight end. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on second down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Again, it's Brady. He's got a man complete. It's Julian Edelman. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Brady to his old reliable Edelman, and the Patriots have a first down.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Brady's throw there complete. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. To throw again on second down. Brady. That's caught by the tight end Lacoste. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Brady to throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, ringing the cowbell there on the sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
There's a man, and it's Edelman for the Patriot touchdown. 10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Patriots make some inroads here on that deficit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard and you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point good by Gostkowski. And the lead is down to 11 at 28-17. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends with a New England touchdown. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Alshon Jeffrey working his way back out there now to help lead this offense. And I know that they double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. A quick throw there out to Jeffrey. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I 100% agree. I think that sometimes a lot of folks say this might be overused, but Democrats bring knives to a gunfight. And I think if this is a gunfight, we
on 3rd down, this is Howard. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a 1st down following a gain of 3.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards.
You've got this guy, Ed Martin, Zachary. Ed Martin, who Trump, first of all, attorney for those white domestic terrorists who he appointed. So he lied to the Senate and said...
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go with Howard again. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they were hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Working from the gun. Wentz. He'll hit Jackson. Complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
To make sure that their constituents are holding them accountable, so that they also vote no on these nominations. We need to roll out those things. We can roll out those things and let people know that and spread it all around those swing districts so that those Republicans feel an immense amount of pressure from their constituents because they barely won their seats. They barely are controlling the House. And we want to be able to make that.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz.
Oh, boy!
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Philadelphia. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And they begin this drive in very precarious field position inside their own 5.
And remember, this is a defense that's already scored once in this game, so you've got to really take care and make sure that you're blocking these guys and try and wedge the ball out from the shadow of your own end zone. But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. In his own end zone, it's Brady. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
You got to worry about a grounding call when you're throwing from back there. No flag on that play, but maybe, possibly.
Well, that's one that we have certainly seen called before.
Yeah, I think what you have to be cognizant of is where he is.
And I don't know if he made it out of the end zone. No signal. Yes, it's a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
35.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. Now a handoff here to his running back. He's going to be stopped up quickly here.
I was
Just a yard up to the 39.
I was gone. My G, you had me. My G. Oh, right here. Look at this. One man to beat. Motherfucker.
First downs, run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Again, it's Howard. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Back now in Foxborough. It's the Eagles in possession of the football and leading this one as we get ready to start the final quarter. On 3rd down, it's Howard. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game.
What's the flag?
Get the first down, close it out.
Defense.
Decline, bitch. Decline on the 51st and 10 on.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10.
Hey.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now they'll throw it. Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Michael Bennett, the former Texas A&M Aggie, dropping the hammer.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Devin McCourty picks it off. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
A good pickup there on first as a screen pass gets a made. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Brady. This is White on the screen. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Ran to the outside.
10-yard.
If he would have ran to the outside, he would have broke. Right there. He would have ran to the outside, he would have broke that bitch. Watch. Look. Look. There you go right there. All he had to do was run to the outside. He ran to the inside, though. Right here. Go to the outside. Go to the outside. He ran to the inside.
And it's enough for a Patriot first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Brady. Caught by the tight end, Watson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Brady now on first down. That's complete to White. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Michelle. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
Michelle going to try again, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Brady's throw on 3rd down there is incomplete.
Better kick a field goal, bit. Better kick a field goal, bit.
You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
All right, bit. Let's get it done there, bit.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And that gets them back within 10. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Carson Wentz, along with his offense, heading back out there for their next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll keep it on the ground. Howard. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
What they do now, though, they close down the plaza during votes, and they close down the areas outside where the press conferences take place, which are known as the Triangle and the Swamp.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw.
Catch the ball.
And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz.
First down.
Very close to a first down. But
oh, that's bullshit,
dog. And
that's bullshit, dog.
So much about
bullshit.
Offense is what
that's
you
a
call
bad spot, my
yardage.
nigga.
You know, you throw the ball to someone,
that's
they catch
bullshit,
it,
my nigga.
and then they can make a big play. You know,
that's
they
bullshit,
create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. They hand off to their big tight end. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Howard. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team.
Run to the outside.
The very essence of what we represent, Roland. And you know that. And here's the thing. Today, we're seeing the word diversity be turned into a curse word by this administration and by this Congress. We're seeing black history.
They see this starting to happen as well, so that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
But they need the black press more now than probably ever before.
A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10.
Back to you.
And to give this time to the tailback. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Then he'll give it here to his running back. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
And good power running, but he's still going to be about a yard short. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. His kick is absolutely perfect. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3. But clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt. Obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off. But they still ate up time, got points.
So that from?
And ain't nobody in the black press gonna be in this damn press pool. I said,
32.
You need to go get somebody on the advanced team. And they were like,
47 yards, 32 for 15.
And so I handed my card. I was managing editor of the Dallas Weekly. And so they came back. Mr. Martin, you can add to the press pool. I'm like, you damn right. Now,
while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Brady and the Patriots now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Working from the gun, it's Brady. Sideline throw, that's caught. Julian Edelman. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. Shotgun now for Brady. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Julian Edelman, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Brady complete to Watson, the tight end. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Under 4 to play now. Clock running, 3rd down. From midfield, here's Brady. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he has another 1st down as he'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 35. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there, and a New England 1st down. Brady now on 1st down. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Malik Jackson, the 6'5" D tackle with a sack. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Brady going to throw. Throw left side, reeled in by Lacoste. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Patriots with a football as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. Brady now to throw, and that will be incomplete.
Got into the press pool.
You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. They'll run for it. This is White. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on fourth down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Eagles defense able to hold. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that.
They're down to none.
Yes, exactly.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Wentz to throw.
Oh, that nigga couldn't hold on to that bit.
Good protection that time, but they couldn't hook up.
He couldn't hold on to that bit.
It's third down.
He couldn't hold on to that bit.
Punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Cameron Johnston now, standing just about on his own goal line. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a fourth down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's second and 4. Again, they'll throw with Brady. He hits his target, left side, Watson. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Now Brady, and that's complete. It's Watson. The Patriots will take their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Brady's got his guys first and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. Brandon Graham in there to make the sack on what will be the final act in this ball game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. And with that, we say so long from Foxborough.
I'm de-stressing. Yeah.
You had that team with the last one already. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. this is the stuff, gentlemen, over here. It extends beyond what business should be. This is what happens when we talk about political and advertising money. We talk about general market money. We talk about all sorts of things. It happens at the local level, it takes up a national level. How black organizations, black entities do not get the same respect. I was flying. I don't even know what happened with me. I was flying. And put the camera over here. I was flying. And when you fly and give a media credential, because we're media, when we check bags, we get to check bags up to, do I have my credential? Go ahead. When we check credentials, when we check our stuff, we get to check bags up to like 100 pounds. And we pay because we carry gear. So I actually have my, I probably at home. This is like furniture for my guys to come over there. So at the airport, you check your badge, you show your credential. So I check in United, home goes, oh no, that's not that bad. I was like, excuse me? Training says nothing. I said, shit, it's that for Secret Service in White House. And then another person at a United deal, and mind you, I got a 53 miles, I'm Premier, 1K, all this sort of stuff. I was like mad as hell. But I guarantee you, if I had flat CNN credential, no problem. But this is the stuff that people have to understand that black folks deal with when they do not see us as equal to others.
Absolutely. I think that this is a form of institutional racism. The reality is when policies don't allow access to certain groups of people, it is an institutional and systemically racist policy. And that is what has kept black folks from upward mobility. That is what's kept black America's life from being heard, is keeping us from having access. And so it's especially important in a time where diversity, equity, and inclusion is under attack. Affirmative action has been under attack, because the reality is we aren't a post-racial society, and it's very important that we have systems in place that make sure that black journalists, black media have access to everything that they need access to, that black institutions, period, that institutions that serve black people have resources. Right. And so I think that it's an especially important conversation right now, as we know that DEI is just a code word for black sometimes. It's the new N-word.
For example, last week, Reverend William Barber, Bishop William Barber, and others were arrested for praying in the Capitol Rotunda. This right here is an image of them being arrested by Capitol Police as they were praying. They ushered all the media out. We actually ran the video. Now, it was interesting because they were talking about them making a disturbance. But these are the same folks. Now, this guy, Jack Hinkle, reported this here. 2 years ago, when right-wing activist Sean held an impromptu evening worship service in the Capitol back in 2023, police occasionally walked in to speak with lawmakers participating, but no one was arrested. So, again, they were arrested, and he wasn't. This is what we're talking about.
Roland, while we have been here, I saw a breaking news alert that the family of Ashley Babbitt,
$30 million.
Yeah, they're getting our American taxpayer dollars as their daughter went down to the Capitol to participate in the insurrection.
And white domestic terrorist was shot because one dumbass will not obey orders, and Trump has given her family $30 million taxpayer money.
Our money, $40 million of our money, and again, make she rest where she rests. But that is what we're dealing with. These people caused an insurrection. Now they've been let out scot-free, and now our president and Republican members of Congress are talking about giving the families restitution. While you're telling me that you're not able to do anything to support the Americans who got educated through student loans, or you're telling me you can't do anything for the black people in this country, their own reparations, and we're going to give insurrectionists restitution, they're going to get money for the insurrection they caused to overthrow the American government and democracy. That's what we have going on in Washington, where these pastors, these ministers can't pray, but the family that actually family gets $30 million.
I tell Dora and Morgan, you gotta set up a fight, and it's perfectly clear you're not going to treat us separately as you will.
Yeah, and I hope this discussion, these examples we talked about, is an invitation to go with it. I mean, truly, it kind of breaks my heart hearing the discussion that it's been years that we've been fighting for this access. It's like, no, when you have power, use it to the maximum effect to impact as many people's lives. Take every fight and just win, deliver. That's what we're seeing happening in this administration. We should be respecting the Constitution, but very aggressively trying to deliver for our people.
All right, let's hold tight 1 second. We come back. We talked last night about Shedeur Sanders. And I think what happened to him was racist, but it's racial. And I told y'all my story, don't have that. They're just not in sports. And so I'm going to talk to a brother who knows Shedeur very well. And something that you have to understand that his lives as well, especially in the age of all of us who are happy. You're watching Roll My Numbers right here on my Sunday.
This week, on the other side of change, mass incarceration, Trump administration is doubling down criminalization, and how it's profitable. And there's something really, really perverse about saying that we need to put people in cages in order for other people to have jobs. Like, that is not how our economy should be built. Only on the other side of change on the Black Star Network.
This is Tim Lee. And this is David Mann. And you're watching Roll Report. I'm Phil Tippett.
All right, folks, still lots of conversation about Shedeur Sanders, how he was treated by the NFL, falling significantly in the draft of the 5th round. There was conversation between Clarence Hill and Janelle Hill, the Spurs GM competition last night, where they said that, Janelle got a was racist, she was the reason. And Clarence said that, a lot of these NFL like NFL effects are not used to being a black athlete who's rich. It's a privilege. And so I talked about that we have to recognize that things happen that they may not be racist, but they are also
Asthma doesn't want you to be the cool mom. Triggers can pop up at any moment, and asthma says you can't. But by making better control of your severe asthma possible, Tezspire says you can. Tezspire is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over that treats more types of severe asthma to help you prevent attacks, breathe better, and relieve your asthma symptoms. Tezspire is not a rescue medication. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling in your face, mouth, tongue, trouble breathing. Rash or eye allergy can happen. Don't stop asthma treatments without talking to your doctor. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection or your asthma worsens. Avoid Lyme vaccine. Sore throat, joint, back pain will occur. By helping control your asthma, Tezspire lets you be you. Ask your asthma specialist for Tezspire by me.
racial. So I was talking about this last night with my friend Tom Brown, co-founder of Urban News Network. He was talking about what he's dealt with his entire career, and I said, let's talk about it sometime. Welcome back to the show. And so it was a lot of people were really surprised by the conversation last night because they did not fully understand when we talk about how we can be racial but not racist. And we were talking about how individuals kids, and here you are, smarter, more talented than them, and frankly got left behind. And they're like, well, you just be happy with what you got.
Yeah, well, it happened a couple of times. I remember early in my career, me and a white contemporary, we both were working together on projects, and we were exchanging contributions, and we were turning our work in cross-checking it, where he would get an A+ and I would get a B-. And it got so clear that he actually complained about it. Then as my career advanced, I started seeing the same thing where I would get favor and a lot of attaboys, but when it came down time for the production, promotions, and the increase, my numbers were always less. And as I shared with you last night, I had a good friend. We both were on an executive track. Because he lived in a $350,000 house, and I lived in a $57,000 condo, and his salary was $70K higher than mine in the same movement. Because I became friends with these people, white people largely, they shared information as if it was equal. So when we are emboldened and put in those key positions, bro, what we often find is we may get the recognition, but we very seldom get what goes with it. And so it's a racial system where they're comfortable, and the track they had me on was good for a black executive, but I wasn't in line with what the majority was getting. I think Shedeur is experiencing sort of that recompense for being too bold. And what I want to share with you is that it happened to my kids. I have a child that worked at Google. Well, guess what? He was brought in 2 levels below his peer class. Same thing with my daughter, who went at Amazon with an MBA and a master's of public accounting and CPA. And she found out that the Georgia members who just had an undergraduate degree came in 2 levels higher than her. By the way, she went to the University of Texas, the #1 accounting school in the country. So we see this happen generationally, and it's more normal than we want to think about.
And what I need people to understand is that over a 20, 30, 40-year period, we're talking about the loss of millions of dollars. And the response from white folks is, but you've done well.
Right. Well, what's interesting about that, Roland, is I go back to companies, major media companies I was at in 2010, 12 time frame. When I visit them on business in my current capacity as owning Urban Edge Network, I go back and I see the same white people that were in the roles that I was in. They're still there 10 years later. So if I was making $950,000 a year, and you add 3% to that, and they've been there an extra 11 years, you can imagine the amount of wealth they've amassed. And that's the generational wealth that you see in the exchange, where you see African Americans in executive positions are put out of their roles for whatever reason, mid-50s, early 60s, if they're making north of a couple $100K. Where you see the majority members in this racial society you talk about, where they're just comfortable with each other, and they're just uncomfortable without some leadership roles. And over time, not a lot of time, you can see the stratification in income and how it impacts us from a wealth perspective.
And again, we talk about what's racial, not necessarily racist. Talk about one individual to run a major media company, yes, not under another major media company, who held private parties for white junior execs, and you never got invited.
Yeah, so in the conversations I was in a major top 3 media company, having had conversations with my peers, they then shared with me that they were invited to weekend parties, Christmas parties. They visited executives' home, and they were given opportunities consistently, whereas I was there for 7 years and not received one promotion. Matter of fact, one individual I'm thinking about was below me when she came in, and she's now been president of several companies in the same field, where those opportunities tend to go away from black folks for whatever reason. And I see the same peer class, chief revenue officer, vice president, senior vice president of content management. When those people are in those roles longer, they're promoted, they're supported, and it's just comfort. I saw the same thing when I was in Viacom in the early 2000s. Most of the people I work with are still in those roles or ascended to tremendously high opportunities. So it starts to be impactful, Roland, because I see individuals, for whatever reason, are comfortable with us not being there. And when we're not there, that means opportunity downstream and upstream, both for our families and for the networks that we tend to open up. So it does have a big impact when you have to be fifth round, when you have first round talent.
And it is something that consistently happens, and folks don't want to talk about it. And what trips me out is when we are expected to shrink ourselves, to not be as assertive, not be as aggressive, not be as open, frankly, not outshine our peers because we make them feel bad. So we have to factor in their fragile white feelings in order for us to possibly move ahead.
Well, the sad part for me is I stopped having to get with my kids, where my son, is one of the only people that was hired by Google and sales coming out of Oklahoma University. He came in 1 to 2 levels below his peers, outperformed his peers who were promoted faster, did less impactful work, and then when he received his promotion, it was 2 years later, having overperformed in the role that he was in, which was graded at the same level his higher level peers were. Same thing after my daughter. When she joined Amazon, they both have since left those companies out of frustration because they have access to what they were rated by Andrew as a quarterback. They had expectation of what that meant. They went to great schools, and they expected to get in there and not be impacted from a merit perspective, but then also downgraded. So now you're a backup quarterback. You're not getting the same number of reps. And then when you perform, it's not seen in the same light. So it is something that is real. You can say it's racist, you can say it's systemic, you can say it's racial, but it happens on a more regular basis on an event. And the gap sustains your entire career unless you do what I've advised my kids to do, which is to take the circuitous path and not wait for a linear promotion within a system that wasn't set up to be fair and honest to them, and make moves and work your way to emancipation and entrepreneurship as soon as you can. Then you're fighting the battle road that you and I are fighting to try to get supply chain opportunities as opposed to one or two individuals that are broken system to recognize them and treat them fairly.
Man, I'm worried first.
Well, I really appreciate the discussion and agree with a lot of what has been said. So thanks for sharing your story and for your children. I think this is one of the reasons why when we talked about this, where I think the entire Black community should just automatically be very anti-monopolist. We do not usually benefit from concentrations of power, whether it's in a very, very large corporation like an Amazon or Google. And I completely agree. I mean, being able to strike out, be entrepreneurs, where we have more autonomy to be able to create opportunity for ourselves and also other folks in the community is a great way to go. But we got to make sure we have that runway to grow and scale businesses and really build that wealth. And then the other thing I would say, and I'm just kind of curious, as you're thinking about what is going on with DEI and just the role that has or hasn't played in fulfilling the promise of bringing more equity to the workplace and kind of like helping scale up ladders faster within certain work environments. What's your take on what's happening there?
I've never been an advocate of DEI. I'm a big proponent of affirmative action. The federal statute that requires them to give us an equal opportunity, as what used to be in federal contracts and certainly in corporate environments. DEI has always been a cloak and dagger for Black folks. As you know, 72% of the opportunities in the DEI space went to white women, and north of 90% of the opportunity went to white folks. So we were very self-benefited from it. It did create some opportunity for consideration. So I've always told my children, I've always focused on meritocracy. I remember early in my career at IBM, which I was highly esteemed, the first offer they gave me was CEO job, counting Black people, counting brown people, and compliance CEO, where my majority members who were in finance and accounting were never offered those type of opportunities. So I found DEI to be more of a distraction. I found it to be more of a conversation around promoting a photo op than about the actual work of elevating, promoting, and integrating folks of color into the power of the business from a P&L perspective or the supply chain. So I've always told my kids that they need to be amazing, but they also need to recognize when they're not being treated right and then open the spectrum of opportunities for themselves. So that's my strong take on DEI. I think it's interesting, but it hasn't been impactful on my career and it hasn't been impactful on my business.
Rebel, lead, and protect with Rain-X Pro interior products. Turn your kitchen into a restaurant with Kraft Signature Shreds. Amazing melt, French flavor. Craft together a restaurant quality meal in your home.
Thank you, Chef. Constipated. The need for fast relief when your backed up gut has you feeling bleh. Humira-Fast works naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes. Humira-Fast acts faster, works gently. Introducing Blueprint AI. Our new experience to help you design your website. Built by designers to put even more creative possibilities in your hands.
Conversation to me, as I have, outside of political consulting, spent a lot of time on Wall Street at financial firms. What happened to Shador Sanders on draft, on this NFL draft, is so relatable to a lot of us as Black Americans because, let's face it, we're underrated. We don't, simply because of the color of our skin, it is racial. They don't envision us as being the part. And we have to be our number one advocate. Just like you've got to work hard, you can hard for error. But at the same time, no one's going to advocate for you. You've got to be any Black person who has gotten anywhere in a society that wasn't what we weren't meant to rise. Has had to be their number one advocate, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in corporate, and regardless of what industry you're in, even in the Democratic Party political consulting space, white guys with no experience get the big money gigs, the big campaign gigs before a Black consultant with the best resume you've ever seen.
Absolutely. And so I think the relatability piece is we're all first-round draft choices. I find that Africans in America, when they come to whatever system they come to, when they go for opportunities, they tend to be well submitted for those opportunities. Now, arguing for your value, positioning yourself with the opportunity spectrum where you can have more than one team to go to, and it's free agency. But we have to actually be very assertive about making sure we get the opportunity as much as possible so we can really feather out those opportunities and then take the one that makes sense. And then don't fall in love. We don't have to be there for 5 years on a rookie contract. We've got to be there long enough to get those credentials that we need and either create an opportunity for ourselves through entrepreneurship or market ourselves to the highest bidder in the market space.
All right then. John Brown, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland, as usual.
All right, we come back. Job numbers came out today. Decent, not great. At least it's in the bag, though. Oh my God. Here we come with the Jesus. We'll be right back.
On the desk is wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach. Inflation is on the rise. Interest rates are high. Can you still thrive during these uncertain times? On the next Get Wealthy, you're gonna meet a woman who's done just that, living proof of what you need to do to flourish during these uncertain times.
These are times when you take advantage of what's going on. This is how people get rich or richer.
That's right. right here on Get Wealthy, only on Black Star Network.
Now that Roland Martin is willing to give me the blueprint, hey, Zara, I need to go to Tyler Perry and get another blueprint because I need some green money. The only way I can do what I'm doing, I need to make some money. So you'll see me where I'm rolling. Matter of fact, it's Roland Martin and Cheryl on the show. Well, she can be Cheryl on the show and Roland Martin show. Well, whatever show it's going to be, it's going to be good.
Jobs reporting on today last month, 117,000 jobs were added to the economy. Analysts expected 133,000 jobs added. The black unemployment rate went up 6.3%. Overall unemployment rate remained the same at 4.2%. The unemployment rate for black men went from 6.1% to 5.6%. Black women's unemployment went up a point, 6.1%. Morgan, you look at these numbers every single month. What does it tell us?
The name of the game continues to be uncertainty. Well, I mean, you're right. These are pretty good numbers. These are numbers that are not causing a lot of alarm. But I think the massive elephant in the room is that these numbers are from surveys that were coming pretty much right after the April 2nd tariff day, where Trump put across the board tariffs all over for countries all over the world. And so we're still dealing with what was more or less the prior administration's policy. And as we move forward here, we're going to continue to have to take a look at what is the impact of the very aggressive policy that's coming out of this administration. And the other thing I would note is, and we're probably going to have to do that on a sector-by-sector basis. Like, what do I mean by that? It's like each market area. So when we look at where some of the jobs were gained, where some of them were lost. Of course, we're seeing some of the losses in government jobs, not surprising, but not as many losses as we're likely to see. One of the things that's not captured in these figures is, the folks that are taking these buyouts, for example, from the government, that they're accepting the DOGE buyouts, but they're going to be on the payroll, so to speak, for a few more months before they're officially out of the government. That's not getting captured here. We're seeing some growth in areas like warehouse manufacturing. Some people are speculating, well, that could be because these large companies, knowing that these tariffs were coming and some of the announcements that were starting at the beginning of the year, were just stockpiling and trying to get in as many imports as possible, so then they had to beef up their warehouse capacity. No one really knows what's going on. And so it continues to be a time of great economic uncertainty. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling that consumers are starting to adjust some of their spending habits, and we all should be careful as consumers, as small business owners, as people who maybe supply small businesses, because we don't exactly know how the administration is going to land with the so-called deals that they're working out with the tariffs, and what the long-term outlook is for the economy overall.
Well, you know how tariffs have an impact now. We're now going to lose almost $3 million a quarter because of these tariffs. Even though they announced record earnings, but again, these companies are telling you trust me, your tariff gamble is wrecking this economy.
Well, the Apple example is really interesting because the fact that Apple is saying they're going to lose $1 billion, I mean, that is, billion with a B, that is a lot of money, but the fact is Apple makes a lot of money, right? So this is only 1% of the revenue that they're making, right? In a quarter. And so
they had $95.4 billion in revenue this quarter.
Exactly. Apple is a huge company. All these big tech companies are the biggest, most profitable companies in the world. And so when Apple can't absorb that hit, it's like you said, it's just 1%. They're making these deals to be able to shift some of their production to India, to Vietnam, for the U.S. iPhone that they're going to try to supply here to get around some of the highest tariffs that are hitting China. So when Apple is a mover, but the companies that come below that, not just the companies that we're seeing the tickers on Wall Street, but think about the mid-market type of businesses. I was just talking to a guy in Cleveland earlier today who owns his own insurance company. One of his good friends owns a lighting company, and they're pretty much facing it's not clear that we can survive in this environment. I think those are the types of stories that we're likely to continue to hear more of as the tariffs hit these different sectors.
John? I think my biggest concern with the tariffs are the cost of goods.
the cost of living in this country is off the chain. You have got so many high earners in this country, high earners, who are not doing well economically because the cost of living is literally that high. And so for these tariffs to go through and make everyday life more expensive for Americans, it's just unfathomable right now. And I think it's an economic war on the people. Because I myself, I do better than a lot of people, but I think I would hurt significantly if all the goods that stand to increase these tariffs were to quadruple in price. That's something a lot of Americans can't deal with. And Americans of many different class levels, but only the super rich are not going to be hurt by this.
Well, I'm telling you, I keep telling people this is going to get worse. So folks better buckle up because this idiot is charging full steam ahead and it refuses to listen to reason. Morgan, John, I appreciate both of y'all being on today's show. That's a little bit earlier. But thank you so very much for joining me. Earlier this week, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett ripped into MAGA Republicans when it comes to the massive cuts they want to do to the federal budget.
Briefly, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. This is an amazing amendment brought by the brilliant gentle lady out of Pennsylvania, because one of the things that we consistently hear every time we start one of these hearings is that the Republicans had a mandate, and that is why we ended up with Donald Trump. And I can tell you that as I traveled the country warning them that what is happening was going to happen, people would say things like the price of eggs are so high. So this amendment specifically deals with issues around the consumer price index. So let's talk about the price of eggs, because for whatever reason we've yet to have a hearing on the price of eggs when that was really the one big thing. And I remember the big guy was in the White House saying that he was going to reduce the cost of eggs on day one. But
and see people have money. It puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Hygiene costing your business time. Talk dispensers are quick to refill for efficient cleaning. Better hygiene for better business.
in March of 2025 was $6.23, a 6% increase from the previous month. A 60% increase year to year, and USDA said egg prices could climb 41% this year. When we start to talk about things such as our energy, in March, natural gas prices increased 3.6% and electricity prices increased 9%. Fuel and oil prices increased 0.8%. Utility gas services increased 2.5%. The national average for a gallon of gas is currently $3.17, nowhere near the $1.98 that President Trump claimed last week. I just want to make sure we get the facts out there. And finally, the other area that we typically talk about that really impacts everyday working people is housing. When we look at shelter prices, which measure the cost of housing, rent, lodging away from home, and owner's equivalent rent, it rose 0.2% in March. In February of 2025, home prices were up 2.9% compared to last year, selling for a median of $424,000. The number of homes sold was down 5% year over year. Listen, we are in a crisis, and they are pretending that the solution is going to be cutting everything that those of us that make this country actually go is the solution. Right now, we're cutting jobs as it relates to the federal government. Right now, because of the failed policies around tariffs, we know that we are looking at losing plants. They said that they were going to bring plants. They just announced that we had 2 auto dealers that were going to shut down approximately 40,000 jobs. As they then go after NIH, we know that in the state of Alabama, the largest employer in the state of Alabama is the University of Alabama. They are looking at losing jobs because they won't have research dollars. The only thing that they are doing is hurting us. It is the reason, if we're going to talk about numbers and mandates, it is the reason that the only person in recent modern times to have the lowest approval ratings at their 100-day mark is the same person. The first time they were in, and now this time. It is time for us to get serious and talk about what will grow our economy, what will bring more money in, what will make sure that people can move up from working poor to middle class and maybe even reach this higher level that so many of y'all listen to, this upper echelon, this rich level, because that is what is supposed to set us apart in this country. We are supposed to live in a country where everyone has an opportunity to go from rags to literally riches. And so I am asking my colleagues to start looking out for the people that elected them. And this is one way that we can do it, by supporting this amendment of Ms. Lee. And with that, I will yield.
Cut to the chase. Call like it is. Speaking of call like it is, on Wednesday, Vice President Kamala Harris gave her first major speech since leaving the White House. She spoke to Emerge in New York in 16-minute speech, which streamed on Black Star Network. We did want to show you some of what she had to say. And she continued her theme of talking about these threats to democracy that we are seeing right now with the foe in chief.
The American people deserve leaders who make their lives better and make our country stronger. But sadly, we have seen quite the opposite over these past few months. Now, I know tonight's event happens to coincide with the 100 days after the inauguration, and I'll leave it to others to give a full accounting of what has happened so far. But I will say this. Instead of an administration working to advance America's highest ideals, we are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of those ideals. And what we are also in these last 14 weeks is Americans using their voice and showing their courage. We all know President Trump and his administration and their allies are counting on the notion that fear can be contagious. They are counting on the notion that if they make some people afraid, it will have a chilling effect on others. But what they're overlooking, what they have overlooked, is that fear is not the only thing that can do. Courage is contagious. President's reckless tariffs hurt workers and families by raising the cost of everyday essentials, devastate the retirement accounts that people spent a lifetime paying into, and paralyze American businesses, large and small. to lay off people, to stop hiring or pause investment decisions. The courage of Americans we are seeing who are rallying in Social Security offices to protect their hard-earned benefits. Of Americans who are speaking out to say it is not okay to violate court orders. Not okay. Saying it is not okay to detain and disappear American citizens or anyone without due process. The courage of judges to uphold the rule of law in the face of those who would jail them. Of universities that are defying unconstitutional demands that threaten the pursuit of truth and academic independence. And I will tell you, the courage of all these Americans inspires me. And I have been inspired by the movements like the one in Wisconsin that put Susan Crawford on the Supreme Court. By the State of the People Power Tour that is aiming to ignite a grassroots movement to lift up voices and advance freedom and justice. And by leaders across the spectrum, including congressional leaders like Cory Booker, Chris Van Hollen, Chris Murphy, Jasmine Crockett, Maxwell Ross, AOC, and Bernie Sanders. All who, in different ways, have been speaking.
Can a can of Lysol take care of my snotty soap?
Can do. Mildewy tiles? Can do.
Yes.
Yep, it's the Can Do can. Nothing kills more germs on more surfaces than Lysol disinfectant spray. Lysol, what it takes to protect.
In 16 years, Greg Gerstner will land the perfect cannibal. With friends he's already made now, and AARP volunteering to community events to help make sure his happiness lives as long as he does. The younger you are, the more you need AARP.
On a marathon? Not for me.
On a marathon? At my age?
I'd never be able to continue. I'd never be strong enough.
I've never played.
But maybe I could.
Ever since Sling, Walter discovered his real power, control, the ability to pause his subscription or witness something deep inside him. Now he could pause life himself. Walter was a god. Sling made it possible.
In different ways, have been speaking with moral clarity about this moment. So here's one of the other things I wanted to talk about tonight. And to highlight. So look, some people are describing what's been happening in recent months as absolute chaos. And of course I understand why. And it's certainly true of those tariffs. Tariffs that, as I predicted, are clearly inviting a recession. But friends, please let us not be duped into thinking everything is chaos. I know it may feel that way, but understand what we are in fact witnessing is a high-velocity event where a vessel is being used for the swift implementation of an agenda that has been decades in the making. An agenda to slash public education. An agenda to shrink government and then privatize its services. All while giving tax breaks to the wealthiest among us. By the way, an agenda that is not lowering costs, not truth tellers, favor loyalists, cash in on their power, and leave everyone to fend for themselves, all while abandoning allies and retreating from the world. And folks, what we are experiencing right now is exactly what they envisioned for America. Right now, we are living in their vision for America. But this is not the vision that Americans want. We are living in a moment when the checks and balances upon which we have historically relied have begun to buckle. And we here know that when the checks and balances ultimately collapse, if Congress fails to do its part, or if the courts fail to do their part, or if both do their part, but the president defies them anyway, well, friends, that is called a constitutional crisis. And that is a crisis that will eventually impact everyone. Because it would mean that the rules that protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, that ensure each of us has a say about how our government works, will no longer matter. And if that happens, the one check, the one balance, the one power that must not fail is the voice of the people.
Folks, if you want to see the full speech from Vice President Kamala Harris, go to our Black Star Network app or go to our YouTube channel for the full speech. That is it for us. We will see y'all on Monday. Don't forget to support the work that we do. Join our Bring It On fan club to contribute via Cash App. You can use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. If you're listening to BlackStarNetwork.com, if you want to check the money, we'll make it payable to Old Money Fund. Don't just feel about 50196 Washington, D.C. 2003-7-096. Take down on Market on social video or in my social video. Go to Market.com, go to Network.social.com. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Don't forget, get my book by Fear of the Bride of America, Make a Life of Fools in Mind, label at bookstores nationwide. Also, of course, get out all of my unfiltered swag, new shirts, merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, Walmart, Baltimore, rollerbutton.creator-free.com, rollerbutton.creator-free.com. The QR code is right there as well. And of course, you can go to BlackStarNetwork.com. Also, download BlackStarNetwork, download Fanbase, Fanbase app, Apple Store, as well as the Android Play Store, or StarEngine.com/Fanbase. That's it. Hope you have a fabulous weekend. I will see you all on Monday. your check and money over to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. PayPal, our marketing unfiltered, Venmo's RN Unfiltered, Zelle, rolling at RolandSMark.com, rolling at RolandMarkUnfiltered.com. And again, folks, we've got some 4 million social media followers with only 20,000 of our fans, who should be at least 50 bucks each, which comes out to $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. That's $1 million and allows us to be able to continue to build the ad we show and do what is required to worship what is needed. So please join our Freedom From Fan Club today. You not only join us, you have with us in the past, please review the cause. It's important that we support Black-owned media because Black-owned media matters. Folks, lots of drama today in New Jersey as Newark Mayor Rob Baraka was arrested at an ICE detention facility. Pull the audio up. This is Robert Menendez Jr., of course, the son of the United States Senator, member of Congress.